turned into a service like Lucia, Apollo.
I feel sales before getting the qualified demo can be categorized as pre-sales.
Public
and other
sources.
But when they started, their personalization was very, very good. So you set up your
Say that I don't see any moat in this. Like it's a workflow. Like
so that no company can come or no product can come and replace you easily, right?
I
That
guess Anmol just
What
closed
happened?
out the screen and it was funny. So sorry for that.
Hi everyone, how are you?
Hello
I
everyone.
agree.
Hi. So what's happening?
All good. I guess we have some news on the Llama front. Llama just launched, like Facebook just launched their new model this week.
Yeah.
Today, I guess, yes.
Yes. Well, I think it was yesterday, but yeah. And today we have a very interesting topic also. We want to talk about, as we discussed on the last podcast, the real applicability of AI in any process, right? So today we are going to pick a process which is very important to any business and which all of us have done and even continue to do. And I think it will be of specific interest to a lot of founders out there who are at early stages and want to optimize for it. And that is sales. So any thoughts before we start on sales as a process?
Before that, Suru, did you see how Llama compares to other model? I did not get the time to check today actually.
There have been like personal benchmarks that people have been throwing out on Twitter, and a lot of buzz around it that it kicks GPT-4o out of the window on some benchmarks. But I just pulled the
Okay.
official benchmark that Facebook has published, like Meta has published. I'll just share it on screen. So there are some benchmarks where it outperforms GPT-4o. Like on maths, it does, right, 96.8. But the difference is not really that much. But I guess the buzz is around an open source model competing with a closed source model, which is being funded so heavily and is like always in news, and Meta is like doing the work in like putting in the hard work and putting it all out there for the community. So I guess the community at large is very happy because they now have a competing model to compete with GPT-4o mini. Yeah.
By the way, I also let me just fill in something. Something crazy happened today. So ChatGPT started lying to me today. And let me show. See, I was trying to get it to read a PDF from a URL, right? So it said no. So I asked, why are you not able to read URL? I gave it a resume actually to parse. But it said no, and I kept asking, how can I do it? How can I do it? It kept giving me some random ideas on how I can do it. It even told me to email the PDF. I said, where? Elaborate. So it gave me an email, openai.share@gmail.com. So I sent the email to this email. But so the email did not bounce. So I guess there's someone on the other side. But then it said, sorry, I can't access the email. I said, why did you ask me to do it then? So it said, sorry. And then it asked me to upload the PDF to a Google Drive and then convert to Google Docs, and then it will be able to read. So I did that. But the catch is, earlier I had given it a link of, let's say, resume 1 of some Praveen Malhotra. And then in the Google Docs, I gave it the resume of Sonia Kapoor. And in the end, when it said that it could read the link, it gave me the details of Praveen Malhotra, which it said it could not read. So basically, it took the data, it could read it, but to me, it kept saying that it could not read it and it could not give me the data. So it's very, I don't know, very shady. And then I asked it, this is the summary from the URL. So why are you lying and you've stolen my data? It said, I'm sorry. And there was a confusion, but I did not see the data. I asked him, where did you get data about Praveen Mohitra? So it said it was a hypothetical situation. I said, bro, like, he's a VP and CFO and 20 years of experience, and that's what you said here, 20 years of experience and everything. How would you make it up? And said, sorry for the misunderstanding, but I can't read it. So just give me the data. And like, it's very shady. Probably I'm going to move away from ChatGPT now after this fiasco. Yeah, so I just wanted to share this with you guys, and probably I'll put it out there somewhere that, look, this is what's happening with ChatGPT now. It's just taking your data and just saying outrightly, no, I don't have your data, and no, I can't give you anything, any insight, or I can't parse it, even when it has fun.
The crazy thing on that was like ChatGPT giving out an email without
Yeah,
you prompting like the AI to do anything or give any email, right? It automatically gave the email and said
yes.
that send that document to this email, which is maybe kind of a private data that GPT just leaked. Not sure, and but it's a gmail.com email address. Not sure that it is an official one or just something that AI just made up and has hallucinated.
Because the email also did not bounce. So maybe I'll just keep sending random mails now to this email and expect a response maybe someday from someone.
Yeah, coming back to what Nikhil was saying, sales as a process, right? I do have some limited experience in selling. When I was at Zenkov, we used to pitch to a lot of clients for software services, dev services. So there are multiple challenges throughout the process. One is, of course, you hiring a business development manager. It starts with like that, right? Like unless you are doing the sales yourself. So I was doing the sales myself at Zenkoff first. So the multiple challenges that I faced was like prospecting is one challenge. Somebody who is not from the sales background, who has not done any internships, has no knowledge of it. I personally faced a challenge where to find my relevant clients. After a lot of to and fro, I thought, okay, so then let's try LinkedIn and see. But then later on, I got to know, okay, there are data sets that are being sold separately by agencies and marketing companies who sell these data sets and say, like, I have like 1 lakh of data of senior CFOs, CTOs, CEOs that you can reach out, right? So that was one process that I got to know about. But of course, after a lot of challenges that I faced first, like just going out and see how I can do it, the very first way of getting business for me was referrals, of course. I utilized my network to get more business into Zencob and do projects for them. Then leveraging my partnerships, like partnering with different companies in different domains. Like I partnered with a company called Lausanne in the US for IoT-based services. So we used to do a lot of IoT-based work for their clients, their people who were using their products. So we were a solution partner for them. So one channel was that, of course. But the problem in the process is, first you have to reach out. You don't get a response if it is a cold email, unless you know the person beforehand, right? You'll not get a lot of responses. Second is like pitching to someone you don't know and you're not aware of where they're coming from, right? They might have tried different providers, they might have already burnt their hands. So how do you like actually sell them some service out of the blue? So that was one of the major challenges that we face as Incov. And of course, there are other processes around it, like it's very time consuming. So there needs to be a person who is like full time, or might be a team that is there full time dedicated to it. So me as a CEO personally doing it as a founder, that did not work out because I was totally inclined to running the business. So that's my limited experience with sales, like in the 4 years that we ran Zenco. Yeah.
Nikhil, what about you? What challenges have we faced so far, and what bottlenecks have we faced? Like, I'm asking this question now in reference to that we have been using, like, before AI.
No, I'm
Just
yeah. Before AI only. Like if we break down sales into parts, the first part is prospecting, which is I think the most manual task of all. It requires people to manually go figure out the profile of the customer who they are targeting. It can be account based, it can be directly to the person. And once you have figured out the company, then you figure out the person, and then you take out their coordinates, and then you compile it, and then you check it. We used to spam check for emails and verify the phone numbers. And this is the first part. This is the part which is also the most important, because if you don't have the right contact details of the right person, you will never be able to reach out in the first place. The second part after prospecting is reach outs, outreach. Outreach can be through multi channels. It can be it can be a cadence which you follow. That is, you can have multiple person getting targeted on multiple mediums. So that multimodal outreach is very important. After that, it comes follow-ups. That is rejuvenating nurturing the lead. That's what we call it. After that, then there are demos, which involve like once you have booked the meeting. So once you have basically got the SQL in qualified lead or qualified lead, then you can present something to them. Then there are two types of people who say yes or who say no. In case they say no, then you keep them still divided into multiple buckets, reach back later, so that outreach still continues. And the people who say yes convert. And then there are upsellings and all. So typically, all the processes in sales are heavily manual, and there's a reason for that, because sales used to be very personalized. And I'll tell you why I say used to be, because now also, you might get personalized emailers, but they are now, with the advent of AI, mostly AI generated. So it's very easy to figure them out. So my opinion is that yes, since the market was not so competitive 10 years ago, there was a scope for hyper personalization, and you did not have so many junk in your or so many mails in your inbox. But now, since it is becoming too competitive, therefore it is becoming a lot more harder to reach out to people day by day. So this is basically online sales for you, the playbook of any SaaS founder. So yeah, this is how we used to do sales. Yeah.
So, where's the most potential for AI to add in this process, or could AI take, like we discussed the startups coming up and taking over and try to solve this problem with AI, but where do we guys think can AI make the most impact, or can it take over the whole process?
I feel sales before getting the qualified demo can be categorized as pre-sales, and after the qualified demo, it can be classified as proper sales, because that's when you start pitching directly to the person. So pre-sales is something that I feel can be completely done by AI. Figuring out the ICP, uh, taking out their contact, reaching out to them, and following up with them. That can be done. While the competition is rising, it also ultimately boils down to the value that you are providing. If it is something that the person will need, the person who will reach the first and the person who will be able to have a higher recall value will definitely get a booker demo. So it is and how many channels you can reach to. Now, I do believe that if you are using AI for it, it is better to be transparent about it rather than lying that you are using AI. That is wrong. But if you know that yes, you will use AI, and even if it is written that this is a auto-generated mail that I'm getting, but if the product is of value, I do believe. Also, post sales, I don't see any particular use of AI, at least right now. Although that talking head technology is still coming, where you can actually talk to an AI avatar, but I don't think that it is there yet. Pre-sales, yes, there are a lot of opportunities, I feel.
Yeah, on the similar lines as Nikhil said, right? anywhere where a human is not required in terms of a face-to-face communication, or like you need to tap into the human feelings and like negotiate or do like any kind of business activities or discussions. I guess at those places which are very repetitive in sales, that's where AI can come in and replace some of the junior staff that you have, right? Maybe you, at the moment, if somebody has like 4 people doing the outreach, managing emails, calling people, I guess that can be replaced with AI, and only one person can manage the amount of work that 4 people were doing through AI. So that's something I think can be, it's doable with AI, and it, and there's less risk in this activity. But on the same side, of course, post sales where you actually have to go for in-person meetings, talk to the clients on a daily basis, maybe account management, all of those stuff. I don't think AI will be there, but AI can get you a demo. That's what we can say. That's where I think is the major potential for AI in sales.
Even without AI, we used to have automation tools before AI came. Like we had sequencing tools which
Yes.
used to run follow. We had contact finders which can help us find contact. This just that now an agent can follow 4 steps together and stitch those into a workflow. So that's the difference which AI has made. Also creativity. So maybe the type of follow-ups can be a bit personalized and
Yeah,
all.
with the
Yeah.
research that AI agents can do.
But the strategy that goes into prospecting, uh, like, can AI do that also? The kind of
I
people
think
that we want to find,
in terms
or
of
like, does
strategy,
it depend on, I don't know.
so once you've figured out who you want to sell to, then I think you're pretty clear who your ICP is. So figuring out like that designation or that person, I think AI can do it. So the only strategy is trial and error. So you reach out more people to see, and then you double down on the one person or one profile that is hitting it. Uh, so I do believe that for a very early stage company, it might not work, which is still figuring it out. And anyway, they should have found it. But for a mid-sized company or established company who knows, let's say you are making a software for school teachers, then you are reaching out to principals, or you are making a software for dentists, then you are reaching out to dentists. And then the ICP is pretty straightforward. So yes, you are right for products where the ICP is tricky or multiple stakeholders are involved. But most of the time, if the ICP has been laid out, or even there are multiple people, I don't think that is creativity lies in how you reach out. That's where the creativity is. That's where the strategy is. And a lot of veteran salespeople, what they do is they spend a lot of time in nurturing the lead. For example, replying to their post on LinkedIn, commenting on their photo, just sharing random stuff with them, appreciating the work that they do. This is something, if this is done by AI in future, this can be very, very powerful, because now and from a salesperson's profile, because this is actually caring for someone. So
But
if
then,
AI can replicate,
if you're using AI, then we don't actually care for someone to
yeah,
get that sale.
you don't.
And then, like, in this particular case, anyone would not want to tell the other person that they're using AI, right?
In this particular case, you can't. But I'm sure that it will happen. I'm sure the comments or that I get on my LinkedIn
Of
now of
course,
people,
yeah, they are,
or
it's already happening.
so you can make it out also. So an intelligent person might mix it up with human all things also. Like maybe few days AI is doing, and then one day you sit and then you actually do it, or at least you know what they are doing, right? So a lot of people use ghost writers. I'm sure a lot of people know use external help to manage their LinkedIn anyway. So the trouble is when you don't know what's happening. So I think that's the thing. But in this fast world, expecting one person to nurture a lead for 6 months until unless the very high paying amount, because now, we have unrealistic targets also. We have targets of 5, 10, 15 meetings a week. It's very difficult for a person to do that manually anyway. Yeah.
Can we see some examples of startups doing
Yes.
building AI SDRs.
Yeah, let's start with our friend's company. I'll also tag him or tell him about this podcast after it. So usually he runs a company called AISDR, and it's a YC company.
Right.
And we have had the pleasure of interacting with him. So maybe we can start with that.
Let me share the screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
They were like one of the first ones to start
Yes,
with the AI SDR or the AI sales pitch, right? And I hear
yes,
that they're doing pretty well now. Um,
yes, there.
we also had a call with their team where they actually we booked a demo and they said no to us because we weren't their ICT. We were too small and they were targeting big companies. Again, as Nikhil said, that whoever has a clear ICT and they
Yes,
know who they want to sell it to and they are not experimenting, those are the right customers for something like this.
yes.
Um, Maybe we can go directly to the pricing page and we can see what features they are offering and like what part of the sales processes they are targeting.
Let's see the
Yeah.
pricing first. So the basic plan is $750 per month with 1,000 emails.
So that is
Can you
50
scroll
emails
down?
per day.
Yeah. So just to set some context, what they do is they make the persona of your ICP, and then they start targeting those people. Like they actually do the entire pre-sale stuff that we talked about. They figure out the profile, they figure out the contact info, then they start sending out the emails. So that's therefore the pricing is per email, and it's like a person sitting, finding out contacts, figuring out what the person would like, making a persona, sending out hyper personalized emails, and then they go one step ahead. They also reply to those emails, which is good. So a lot of time, so replying to those emails or following up and replying to the follow-ups, that makes the tool very powerful. So again, the aim is to get to the demo. Yeah.
So last time we spoke with them, I think they told us that setting the ICP was the major
True.
part of the process
Yes.
in which they
Yes.
also sat with the team and then they
Yes.
decided how to go about it. And it was pretty manual back then. I'm sure
Yes.
they must have made progress on that right now.
Yes.
Apart from that, what I can recall, they were also keeping in check
Oh,
was the spam score because
yes.
that's a big part of the sales process and the pre-sales team that the email should not go into spam. I'm not sure if they're leveraging AI for that, but that is also one part of the process that they were keeping in check.
It's true. While we have discussed the pros, there are certain cons of this, and I'm
Right.
sure like Gmail and all these. So spam, getting malware spam is one of them. So as and second con is also that it is an automated workflow. So why a lot of tools or incumbents that are used currently in sales like HubSpot or Apollo also now give sequencing services, and all they are also now leveraging elements of generative AI. So uh, someone like me who is already using an Apollo IO and is used to it, or a Lucia can just directly say that, hey, now start sending emails also. So these are two. In fact, we can also talk, Anmol, about one of our friends and investors, Ravi. He runs a company called Calendar AI. I think we can open it up. They were way ahead actually of the AI movement. Like they did this before actually AI became cool, and they were training their own LLM. So if you can open it's KA and it starts from Can. Yeah. So this was something very interesting. And again, we have tried this also. So I have worked with their team and I've tried this tool. So very similar product to what AI SDR does. So you also figure out, but this when they started, their personalization was very very good. So you set up your ICP and then you start reaching out to them. Initially, it was only for sales, but now, as far as I know, they are doing it for any sort of workflow. So, let's say you want to reach out to mentors or candidates or anyone, you can then reach out. So, it's like a reach out assistant for your company. Yeah.
So I'm guessing integrations play a major role in this kind of product, right? You have to integrate with databases like Apollo, Lucia, and then with probably you make your own sequencing, email sequencing, and then you integrate with other tools to find contacts or emails because your customer or your client could use any of the tool and you have to provide integration, right?
Yeah, and Surur may shed more light on this, but the idea is a lot of these tools, last time when we were having a call with Ravi, they are also now building their own databases and they are trying to copy what Apollo and Lucia did. Of course, they will take a long time to get there, but like guessing the email ID, then sending on the servers mail and then checking which bounce. So they are also now building intelligent systems to collect and scrape public information. So I'm sure, Surur, how does a database system get built over here, and like how can AI be leveraged in that? How can a company
I
make
think
this
it's a
own like contact
big
database?
black box of how companies build database, which comprises of ethical as well as non-ethical practices,
Oh,
right? So nobody
yeah.
reveals how they get their data.
Yes.
Nor Nubisha, no Apollo, like any other tools. It's public
It's
sources and
public
other
sources.
sources, all of these, right? So of course, there's data floating around in the black market, right? If you go to the Tor world, you will get lakhs of data from Facebook, lakhs of data from Twitter, LinkedIn. All of these keep floating around. People, all of these data leaks that happen, right? This data is sold somewhere. Somebody who has hacked or leaked the data has did it for some purpose, right? And of course, they sell it out. And I guess yes, that's a gray market where all of these databases are being set up. All of these databases are being sold and being turned into a service like Lucia, Apollo, or any other service, right? Uh, One important question, though, I did get in my mind while you were discussing this, right, is all of these companies building AI, SDRs, sales tools, all of these things, right? Data could be one of the modes, like one mode I can understand. But what what do you guys think about like what would be the mode in their product, right? Because most of the functionality is based on the AI. If AI was not there, all of this AI SDR would not be possible, right? Pre-GPT, I think no was doing it at this scale, even if someone was doing it. So what do you think about the mode? My perspective on this is uh, unless and until you have a good amount of your own trading data, right, that you can use to generate some kind of insights and intelligence on the kind of work your AI is doing, you are easily replaceable by someone who has more funding than you, bigger team than you, more leverage in the market in terms of networks. They can easily like outplay you in the market, even though you might be the first coming who was the first one in the market selling that product. So what are your thoughts on this?
So
And more you want.
yeah, I'm on the same page that I don't see any moat in this. Like it's a workflow. Like if we take AI SDR, it's a workflow which we are automating, and AI is just another feature to the automating tech stack, which was already happening by the way, as Nikhil said earlier. That sequencing was already happening. Now there's an additional step that we can automate, which is finding the ICP and sending the email and replying to the email. Now it can reply based on context. Yes, it is better, but I don't know if it is 10x better or like again, there's no vote in that because everybody can do it. I can do it. You can do it. Anybody can build that. And like data is separate. I think data is a very different
Yes.
game and it's a very long term game.
Yes.
And anybody who's starting in 2023 or 24 will take about 10 years
Yeah.
to reach there.
If still.
They need to have some, yeah, if they do, because anyway, there are players who are 10 years ahead of them, or maybe 20 years ahead of them in the data game. So I think data is a very different game. And if anybody is building an AI SDR product and they are thinking of building a moat in data, probably like I don't concur with that line of thought. And coming to moat, I'm not sure. Like I don't see anything where I can build a moat in such a product, because in the end it's a workflow and anybody can make it. Probably how I will judge a product from, like how I will compare two different AI SDRs is their cohesiveness with other, like integrations with other workflows or other products that I'm using or that I have access or subscription to, how much they are giving it. But then again, I'm limited to what subscriptions I have. If let's say I'm using Seamless AI for database and then some sequencing software and then some random 2-3 softwares, then I'll probably go out and search for an AI SDR which is giving me integration with all of these, because I already have subscriptions to those. And to make my work easier and then go about it. But probably I don't know if it will be 10x better or not. We'll have to try. Of course, but I think it will be better than a human doing it, because I can do it at scale, yes. And it might just replace my current workflow. But how is one better than the other? That I am not sure.
Interesting. No, so I agree fully with both of you, but just to tell our audience what do we mean by moat. So moat means defensibility, so that no company can come or no product can come and replace you easily, right? That's the definition of a moat. Now, giving our own examples, we have shifted from, I think we cannot name it, but we have shifted from multiple platforms, like leaders in contact search over the past few years. So there is no defensibility, because the person who offers you or the company which offers you the most affordable pricing with decent quality, you will try it out because it is almost perfect competition. So this is purely from the data point of view I'm talking about. And before that, we used to try a workflow called Woodpecker, which was very good. They did not have any AI, but they delivered. So the first product which actually works will be like cohesiveness and whole thing. Second is, I do believe that ultimately this will give you more replies. Convergence still is being done by human. The idea is that ultimately closing is still being done by humans. So this is like automating your any sort of admin task or any sort of task which is anyway being done. So anyway, this is not a very high IQ job. Like I personally feel, prospecting and sending out mails, it is not, you don't require the smartest humans. So any other thesis is that the jobs without the smartest humans, which were not meant for smartness, will be replaced. So this is one of those jobs which I do believe will be replaced, which makes it a good business. Will there be a clear one winner in that? That of course we are of the view that it won't. But one just a little point I was thinking while Anmol was saying was quality of the data. Ultimately, the success of this tool is how many meetings are getting booked, right? It depends on the quality of data, quality of outreach, cohesiveness and all. Over here, what I've observed being in India, a lot of the US companies are not able to supply quality Indian data. So because their focus is on that audience. So maybe if you figure out a particular geography or a niche and start building a tool just for that, like we have the best and the most accurate Indian data for Indian companies, or let's say you particularly figure out an industry. Let's say we have the best data for healthcare professionals. I don't know. Maybe you can carve out a good niche and start making some money in that. But over a period of time, then you ultimately have to compete with the bigger players. So I also don't see any moat particularly
So
in that.
there are also a few companies who are going one step ahead and automating the calls
Yes,
for
that's
sales.
what I was.
So,
Yeah.
but like it's a good idea. AI can take calls. Already customer service is being replaced, as I
Yes.
don't know, the speed is very high, and I don't know how much time it will take to replace the whole domain with AI. But anyway customer service is being replaced by AI, but
Yes.
that's because the need here is of the person who's calling the AI.
Yes.
So that's the thesis that AI is not
Taking
calling.
I think you were only saying one more. There are regulations now, I think in US
Yeah,
against
that
market.
you cannot make marketing calls with AI. So
Yes.
meaning government will come up with such regulations like all over the globe. US have already come up with it. But anyway, like I think even if there were no regulations, let's say, if I am calling someone for my work, I have to get a booking done in a hotel, or I have to book an appointment with a dentist, or I have some customer care
Yeah, yeah.
query, and an AI answers. Because it's my work, I will talk to the AI. And if the work gets done, then good enough for me because it's okay. I don't care if I'm talking to a human or an AI. I have some work and I need to get it done. But if someone is calling me and they have some work to do, and then like if it's a human, then probably I will entertain. And most of the times I don't, because someone is
Yeah.
selling me insurance or some loan or credit card or something. Now imagine if that's an AI. Imagine the frustration level that I'll be at. That and a company, let's say some XYZ company has deployed an AI to call me to sell credit cards. Probably I'll blacklist that company in my head, and
Yes.
the brand value will go way down. So I don't
Yes.
know how that will turn out in the real world. I know the application is there and it might just happen, but how will it affect the brand value of the company is something that we'll have to see, and it will happen in the long term. It will not happen over days or weeks. So any company
Yeah.
using this service will have to be very wary of how it will turn out or how it will be perceived as by the customers they are
I
targeting.
think the regulations also came in
Yes.
because the spam will increase, right? Uh, yeah, if you have a
Yes.
list of
Yes,
1
of
lakh
course.
numbers that potential customer that you can reach out to. A human would reach out to maybe 20, 25 people in a day, maybe 30 or maybe 50 at most, right? If you have an AI which is low cost, imagine an AI calling someone 24 inch. Like that's a spam at a massive scale, right? I guess that is why they had to come in with this regulation at the very
Yes.
start. Like you cannot call through AI to for outbound marketing purposes or sales call and all these spots, right? I guess that's a major issue that we start see because nobody is going to adhere to it. Like there will still be spam calls going out. Like in countries like in India or countries like in Asia Pacific or maybe Indonesia for that matter. I'm not sure how strong the regulations are out there, but people will utilize this technology for spamming people, maybe scamming them, uh, because the scammers are also not powered, right? Now they are able to only reach 10 to 20 people in a day. Imagine then like being able to reach all of a city in maybe a few weeks and trying to scam people at a very large scale. So yeah, that's something that I see as a problem coming in with this technology.
Yeah. I mean, marketing and customer service are some interesting domains where actually I feel applicability of AI will have a huge delta. Like we were discussing, maybe we can cover them one by one on a separate podcast. But sales per se, I feel, anyway, the sales process in pre-sales, yes, a lot of things can be done using workflow automation, but I'll still view it as workflow automation. And but in post-sales, I still feel there is a reason why good salespeople are good salespeople, and it is a very human. Because until unless you are selling to an AI, you are still selling to a human being, and you need to figure out their priorities. You need to have a relationship with them. So, I mean, how many times we have bought stuff because uh, actually the person selling to us got our trust first. So this is and those are memorable people. So therefore, I think in any important decision of that what we are buying for, I think for some foreseeable future, at least it will be still human. Not no one is taking away that particular role. But yeah, post sale, pre-sales, yeah, the process workflow automation is there. But marketing and customer service is something we can discuss maybe on the next few episodes. the implications of AI are very, very good. Yeah.
because those are backend jobs, right?
Yes.
I
Yes.
also saw McDonald's coming out with an AI ad recently. So
Yep.
there was a hamburger and a computer and everything was made with AI. Like that I don't remember the car company which came out with the AI ad. Oh, Toys R Us also came up with an AI ad. So
Yes. Yes.
already, so these are giant companies, right? So big companies are already utilizing AI to come up with campaigns, and marketing is a domain, yes, which has already been disrupted, and there will be huge implications of AI because it's all backend, and the creativity is all that backend. So probably it will have major implications there. But yeah, for sales, in short, think maybe backend work of pre-sales might be automated with AI with agentic workflows if there is proper cohesiveness and the AI can deliver end to end. Because in this, if there's a human in the loop, which there will be somewhere, but if it's a major point where a human is needed, then again the bottleneck will still remain and the scale will not be achieved. So if it can achieve the whole life cycle by its own in the AI agent can achieve it, then probably it will work for pre-sales.
Yeah. So, anything else on this, or should we just
Let's keep tracking the few companies that we have on our notebook, and let's see where they go, and if someone out of any of them can build a moat in this domain in the AISDR agentic work.
Sorry, guys, I just had a.
yeah,
Yes.
I guess Anmol just
what
closed
happened?
out the screen and it was funny. So sorry for that.
Cool. Yeah. So, this was a good discussion on sales. Feel free to our audience to feel free to give your inputs also on the same. And we'll be covering each sector one by one every week. So in case you have any recommendations, please let us know. And till the next time, uh, please share, subscribe, and like the videos that we make. Share it with your friends in sales. See their opinions also. Ask them to upskill themselves. We will add the links of all the sales tools that we were able to find, like AISTR, Calendar AI, and any other tools also. So till then, good to see you, and we'll meet again
Thanks,
next week.
guys. See you next time.
So
Bye bye.
thank you. Cool.
Nice part. Bye.